Hi everybody, welcome to Shelf 3 of my complete Blu-ray collection video series. We're going to start off down here with Moon. Great piece of sci-fi this, directed by Duncan Jones, anchored by an excellent turn there from Sam Rockwell. Brilliant performance by Rockwell in this one. Great film. Next up we've got Cameron Diaz in My Sister's Keeper. Don't really know a great deal about that film. I know it's a weepy, but I haven't had a chance to check that out. Next up we've got Terrence Malick's The New World. This is the extended cut. This charts the kind of the Pocahontas story, if you like, of the kind of English settlers landing in the early 1600s, 1607 or something like that. You know, it's a difficult film to watch. You know, if you're not a fan of things like, you know, that Malick does, like The Tree of Life and things, you know, you're not going to be into that. I mean, some of it, it's probably 3/4 of this is almost a silent film, but it looks amazing, looks great. Next is No Country for Old Men. Again, great film. You know, I don't need to tell you how awesome this is. It's again, great performances there from everybody, from all around. But obviously, Javier Bardem got the kind of a lot of the attention for his kind of crazy assassin. Great film. The Notebook, Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams, and again another weepy. This is Nowhere Boy. This is the kind of story of a young John Lennon, if you like, played by Aaron Johnson. They do it really well. I mean, I don't know how much it kind of, you know, how many liberties it takes or anything like that. But, you know, I'm a big Lennon fan and, you know, that's my kind of thing. Next, we've got my favourite Western of all time. This is Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West. Charles Bronson, Henry Fonda, Jason Robards and the awesome Claudia Cardinale there. Yeah, this is one of my favourite films of all time and certainly my favourite Western. I love the look of it, I love the music, it's got one of my favourite scores of all time. Great film. Next up we've got The Other Guys with Farrell and Wahlberg, which I actually really enjoyed. It kind of it falls off a little bit towards the end, but they're great. I love the stuff with Wahlberg and his wife in this. Hilarious stuff. Next up we've got Pan's Labyrinth. This is the Optimum series that HMV put out with the alternative artwork. Great Guillermo del Toro film. Probably, maybe one of my favourites that he's done. Great film. Next up we've got Gibson's The Passion of the Christ. Personally, I'm not a massively kind of religious person, but I think it's a great film. It's certainly a great achievement. You know, it looks amazing. So, definitely worth checking out. Next up, Peter Weir's Picnic at Hanging Rock, the director's cut. Again, great film. This has got a great Dream Within a Dream, it's called, a making of, with all the cast and the crew. Great kind of dreamlike quality to this film. It's actually, it scares me watching it. It's got a creepy quality to it. But really good, worth checking out. Next up, we've got the Real Heroes, again, edition of Pitch Black. Great sci-fi film again. I didn't like Chronicles of Riddick that he did. I thought they took the kind of character and his origins in the wrong direction for me. It wasn't my kind of thing, and I'm certainly not looking forward to the third piece. I think they're doing a third one now, and it's not really my thing. We've got the 5-movie Planet of the Apes collection. I kind of started working my way through these. I think I got 3 films in, so I've got a couple to watch. I've obviously seen them all in the past, but you know, I think when Rise came out, I kind of picked this up and started working back through them. They've got you know, the first one is a sci-fi masterpiece, and it kind of falls off then, but they've all got a kind of quirky charm to them. So they're all definitely worth seeing. We've got The Polar Express, Robert Zemeckis' film. Great film to kind of bring out for Christmas. Got a real nice Christmas vibe to it. You know, the kind of the early days of motion capture technology there. Excellent film this. This is Christopher Nolan's The Prestige. Obviously I'm a massive Nolan fan, and really enjoyed this. I just love the kind of melding of the kind of sci-fi element in it. I think it works really well. Next up we've got The Professionals, Lee Marvin, Burt Lancaster. Great Western this, directed by Richard Brooks. Claudia Cardinale in that again. Brilliant film. Next up we've got a film that I still have not seen. I still have not seen this film, A Prophet. It's supposed to be an awesome kind of French crime thriller. I will kind of bang this on at some point. Great quote there as well. Scarface meets The Godfather, you know. they have to use things like that to kind of sell French films to English people. I think they think. The Proposal, Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds. The Proposition, great Australian Western. Guy Pearce and the excellent Ray Winston, one of my favourite actors in this. Looks amazing on Blu-ray as well. Great film. We've got Public Enemies, Michael Mann. Another great film. I watched this again recently. Really love Depp in this. I love the handheld HD camera work in that as well. Raging Bull, Scorsese's masterpiece. Red Baron, obviously about the Red Baron. Not the best film. Some good kind of aerial combat sequences in this, but it's worth checking out. This is the Robocop trilogy. Big fan of the first two, but the third one, yeah, just don't bother with that one. But the first two I really enjoyed, really great. We've got Guy Ritchie's Rock and Roller, Gerard Butler, great film. Pasolini's Salo, the 120 Days of Sodom, crazy film. This is the BFI release of this. This release, the kind of film aside, it's worth it for this. There's a booklet in here that's colossal. You've got all sorts of essays and information about the film in there. It's worth it for that. You could kind of like buy that in its own right. Great release that, and then like the kind of 3 discs. That's from the BFI series. Next up, we've got the Schwarzenegger collection, Total Recall, Raw Deal, and Red Heat. Total Recall, I love it as a kind of sci-fi film, and the other two are kind of guilty pleasures, I suppose. This is the Real Heroes release of Scott Pilgrim. Great film, very unusual and an original kind of take on the whole kind of comic book style film, but great colours on that slipcase there, awesome. Next up we've got The Searchers. It's not one of my favourite westerns. I know people hold it in really high regard, and I'm sure there's a lot of lists out there that would rate this as the greatest western ever made. It's definitely one of my favourite John Wayne westerns. Look, kind of believe the hype. It looks amazing on Blu-ray as well. And is it The Turning of the Earth? John Ford. Yeah, there's great documentaries on there, great special features. I'm amazed they haven't done a bit more with this release. I could imagine a really nice digibook of this release. But don't get me wrong, it's a great film. Excuse me. Joss Whedon's Serenity next, which is a great film. This again is from the Real Heroes collection. Definitely worth checking that out. I really need to pick up Firefly, the series. I love that series. We've got the 2 Sex and the City movies, 1 and 2 there. I'm not a fan of these films. I enjoyed the series, but the kind of films, they let it down a little bit for me. Next up we've got Shaun of the Dead. I'm doing a great steelbook release. Well, I've done a lot of steelbook releases of this. There's a Universal Anniversary edition coming out, but I love that. Look at that cover art. That's great. Great film. Hilarious. Next up we've got Sherlock Holmes. This is the lenticular kind of cover edition where Holmes and Watson turn up. I'm a really big fan of this series. I love this kind of take on Sherlock Holmes that he's made. I know it's not for everybody. I'm a big fan of the kind of source. I'm a big fan of Sherlock Holmes. I'm really into the BBC series that they've done. They've done 2 series of. If you haven't seen that series, I think it's like three kind of almost feature-length episodes per series. Definitely check that out. Because it really is good. This is Shutter Island. Great film. I appreciate it more and more each time I see it. This is I think it's a HMV exclusive cover on this. Really nice minimalist artwork on that, but yeah, great film. Next up, we've got Snatch, another Guy Ritchie film. This is when these first came out, when I got them on DVD, I used to watch them over and over again, and they are great films. Vinnie Jones in this. I'm not really a fan of Vinnie Jones in films, but I think it almost works in this. Vinnie Jones, it almost works. Yeah, it's good. It's a good laugh. We've got the Social Network from Fincher. Fincher again is one of my favourite directors. and you know, I think this kind of got a lot of hype the year it came out as being, you know, you don't have to look at all that kind of rubbish up there, as being the film of the year and this massive kind of a big deal. It's really good, but I couldn't get as excited about it as everybody else did. It is great, but you know, I don't know if that's all true. I don't know. Next up, this is a great film. It's called Son of Rambow. If you haven't seen this, definitely go check it out. Is it set in the 80s? It has a real kind of childhood resonance for me. Watching this, you know, it kind of takes me back to when you used to kind of play over the park or the woods or whatever with your mates and stuff when you were little, building dens and bases and stuff like that. It's got a real nice charm to it. Definitely check that out. You know, if you haven't seen it, you know, it's worth it. Stand By Me, you know, masterpiece. Great film. You know, it wasn't that long ago I kind of made my wife sit down and watch this because she'd never seen it, and you know, she loved it, and yeah, again, great kind of like a childhood film. This brilliant. Kiefer Sutherland in that as well. It was a great nasty piece of work in that. Stargate. It's yeah, it's all right. It's not as exciting as kind of when I first went to see it. There's a great slipcover on this, but for a Roland Emmerich film, I suppose it's really good. And I remember at the time, got to see this in the mid-90s. You know, the special effects were like, you know, obviously state of the art, and it's kind of been diluted a little bit, I think, its charm over the years by the 450,000 spin-off TV series that have been from it, which I'll admit I haven't seen any of them, but I've never really liked the look of them. I don't know. Leave me a comment, you know, if you watch the kind of Stargate series and they're actually worth checking out, and I'll have a little think about checking those out. And then finally on this shelf, we've got Murnau's Sunrise, a silent film about two lovers travelling to the city. Great film. I kind of picked this up once I'd seen, what did I say? The Artist. And I watched a lot of silent cinema for a long time, and this is number one, incidentally, in the Masters of Cinema series. And it really is a nice release. You know, they do a good job, these guys, and you know, look at that, great artwork on that. And there's a couple of versions. There's like the kind of original movie tone version, and is it the Czech version? Yeah, with a trailer and a few bits and pieces. Great release, you know, silent cinema it isn't for everybody, but it does have that kind of charm to it, and you know, it's from one of the masters, so definitely worth watching if you ever get the chance. And that's that for that shelf, guys. We'll be back very soon with shelf number 4. Until then, bye bye.